What's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just hanging out.
Right on. So yeah, we just roll right into the interview because there's not much room to edit with me. so,
Right on.
so with us on the phone, we got Mr. Jared McGovern. What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing, dog? Bite?
Oh, not too bad. So you guys have got some crazy weather down there in Texas, huh?
Yeah, it's snowing down here right now. And normally we'd kind of take the winter off of touring to stay out all the crappy weather up north, and it just followed us back down here. But
Yeah, it's a little weird. I saw something on the internet today saying that it's 38 in Anchorage right now, and it's like 30 in Phoenix or something.
yeah, it's backwards.
Yeah, that's a little different. We haven't got much weather up here either. It's been really weird. Not good for making me kind of nervous with all the fires that have been going on around here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because if we get bad winters like this where we don't get a lot of moisture, usually our wildfires are insane. And
I bet.
last year they were bad all over Oregon, Washington, and California. I mean, California got the worst of it, but Oregon and Washington was bad too.
Yeah, y'all got them too, right?
Yeah, and the year before last, all the forests over by Multnomah Falls burned up too. So like we've been getting hit like for the last 2-3 years with them. So, and this is bad because we had a pretty good winter 3 years ago. So it's just
Yeah. Well, good luck to y'all, man.
yeah. So what do you guys got going on? You seem to be pretty busy, huh?
Yeah, we're gearing up. It's a couple days into 2019, and we got some big plans. We're gonna be touring quite a bit. We're gonna be recording a new album. Let's see. Here in a couple weeks, we'll be leaving for a tour, just like a little 2-week run to just kind of get the gears going again, get some momentum. I had some legal troubles last summer.
Yeah.
That kind of slowed our touring down a little bit, but we're pretty excited that now that all that stuff's taken care of, and I'm allowed to go out and be a hellion again.
So I won't go too far into it because it's not really anybody's business. But so did it like was the legal trouble so bad that you couldn't leave home, or?
Well, what happened was we were in Denver, and are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. We were in Denver, and I got accused of a robbery. This guy accused me of a felony robbery. I didn't rob him. I got the surveillance footage. It cost me a lot of money. I got a lawyer, went to court, went to jail, went to all this stuff. And then eventually, after a handful of times of traveling back and forth, so my stipulations of going to jail and being out on bail and being charged with these charges were that I wasn't allowed to own a gun, I wasn't allowed to drink alcohol, I wasn't allowed to be in possession of any controlled substances, I wasn't allowed to buy ammo. There's like a lot of restrictions. I was allowed to leave the state, but we're in bars all the time, and if I got in any sort of trouble, if so, like my wife tours with us, if anybody decides to mess with her or something like that, we end up in some sketchy situations. Normally we handle them pretty well and there's no problems, but at that point I just couldn't risk
anything else.
it. Yeah, we were getting pulled over left and right because our van was flagged as being a part of this, so we were getting pulled over all the time at gunpoint, pulled out of the car, and they would like search the car for drugs or weapons. Like it happened a lot. So I was like, man, so we had to kind of cancel all of our tour dates just to kind of for like a safety precaution, you know. So we did that, but now that that's all taken care of and that's all done, we're able to tour again. So we have a new new booking agent, Snap-O-Matic Booking. He's
right on.
Yeah, from the goddamn Gallows. So he's booking us now. Yeah, so we're pretty excited about what 2019 is going to have.
You know, who else is snappy booking these days?
I know he's doing the goddamn Gallows, and we're going to be doing a tour with Scott Byram here soon. He's not exclusively booking Scott Byram, but he's booking that tour. So he's booking the three of us for that tour. I'm pretty sure he's doing like Gallows Bound. I know there's a handful of bands, but I'm not sure like what all I'm like allowed to say, like what's official or what he's just helping out with. You know?
Well, that's amazing. I'm glad that he's doing a bunch more.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I've known Snappy for a long, long time. Back like when he was living in Rhode Island, like when he was managing Sasquatch and the Psychobillies. I had a psychobilly band in Connecticut, so we played together a lot and stuff. So like Snappy's been family for a long time, and then all the other bands that are on his roster are all family, and I'm really excited about what's going to come of this.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
the best thing about Snappy too is like Snappy's really he's reasonable, and he knows, he doesn't want to burn bridges. I think like a lot of the times the problems that I've had with booking agents as like a promoter is that they just give you these insane ballpark numbers. A lot of them just kind of throw it out there, and they get these numbers, and then promoters lose their ass and they don't want to do anything anymore,
Right.
And Snappy, he's
Yeah.
just really easy to work with. He's reasonable, and he's not going to let the bands go without either, because that's
Right.
another thing.
Yeah.
There's a reason that, booking agents are there, it's because there's a need for somebody there to play middleman, so the bands aren't getting undercut, and if they do get undercut, things are getting taken care of properly, because it's hard. It's a weird line to walk, and I hated doing it a lot of the times, because it's like I've been on both ends, So
Yeah, totally.
but
Like, I
a guy
know,
like Snappy is perfect for that. It's like so great to hear he's doing that.
yeah, definitely. He's been on tour with the goddamn Gallows for a long time, so he knows all sides of it. There's not saying any names in particular, but there are bookers out there that haven't necessarily been on tour, or they're kind of new at it and they don't really understand all sides of the business, and it's really good. And we've just been really fortunate. Like our last booker, Devil Cat Rock, or Devil Cat's Underground Tour, she did an excellent job. But whenever we had the legal stuff, we had to cancel a bunch of tours, and that just really slowed us down. We were just dead in the water for a little while. So we ended up having to let our booker go so that I could book local stuff, because I only wanted to book local stuff of places that we knew well. We had places to stay. We weren't going to get in any sort of sketchy situations. So we ended up, we left Bucket City, and now we're with Snappy. So really excited about that. Pretty stoked.
Yeah,
And I mean, he put us on a tour for the goddamn Gallows and Scott Byram. So
yeah,
I really can't complain about that.
No way, man. God, Scott Byram's one of my favorites too. I saw him a few months back for the first time in years, and I traveled like 120 miles to go see him, and then he was with Jesse Dayton, and we walked into this place, and it was in this weird place called Prosser, Washington. It's in between Richland, Washington, and Seattle, kind of like just. Actually, it's more like in between. Yakima is probably a better example of where it's in between. So it's like almost smack dab in between there. So yeah, but we walk into this place, and it's like this fancy brewery. Everybody's sitting down. Like, it wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, watch out.
Yeah, and like we walk in, and my buddy's just hammered, and everybody's just sitting there. I'm like, oh shit, like.
Yeah, awkward.
Yeah, and I like Jesse Dayton, but like I love Scott Byram, and we got in there, and they had Scott play like a half hour, and I was like, motherfucker, really?
Yeah, I drove all this way.
Yeah, you can't fucking, I want to see a 2-hour Byram show, it's been forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a Whiskey Dick beanie on, and it was funny because I walked outside, and he's like, that hoodie looks like a Whiskey Dick hoodie. And I was like, well, I got the beanie on. But then I realized, too, like the guy that designed a lot of the old Whiskey Dick merch designed the Ruckus logo, and that's what I was wearing. It was a Ruckus.
Okay. Yeah.
From the year you guys played at Ruckus, actually. So.
Heck yeah, that was so fun. Yeah, such a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, that was probably the last time you guys were out this way, too, huh?
Yeah, we haven't been out that way in quite a while. Like, as far west as we've gone recently was like Utah from the last tour that we were on. And then once we got back from that one, we kind of canceled everything. Hopefully we'll get back out there sometime this year. I'm not exactly sure when. We're still figuring out what festivals we have going on, and we're going to route our tour dates around that and stuff. So hopefully we'll make it out to the Pacific Northwest sometime soon. I love it up there.
Yeah, a lot of bands kind of like stop coming out here so much. It's just hard to get out here because there's that big old dead spot in between Wyoming and everything. So
yeah, makes for long drives.
Yeah, and then you get out here and the payouts aren't very good. It's a lot more profitable to tour like the Midwest and the East Coast, it seems. So we've been trying to change that for years. It kind of goes in waves. Sometimes it's better than others, but.
Yep. I hear that. And then we have a new album we're working on. It's gonna be it's our sixth album that we're about to put out. We're going in the studio on the 14th, January 14th, and hoping to get it cranked out. Hopefully, we'll have it on the merch table for the Scott Byron Goddamn Gallows tour. And we're pretty excited about it. It's a lot more swinging stuff. The album's called Come Out Swinging. So there's a lot more kind of Western swing influence. There's still like a lot of the hillbilly stuff, a lot of banjo songs still, but it over the past year, because of all the kind of the bullshit that we've been through, kind of influenced our songwriting a little bit. So there's some kind of a little more serious stuff on this one. There's still a bunch of silly, goofy, dumb stuff, but some more like a little more serious songs, a little more thought. I don't know. I kind of feel a little prouder of my songwriting. They have a little bit more substance than what's been in the past. But, yeah, Liz and I just started demoing a couple songs yesterday. We like to, before we go in the studio, we like to record it at the home studio and just kind of piece things together, see what works, what doesn't work, like arrangements and things like that.
That's how I do it too. I always record first and then send it out to everybody so they have like a few months to listen to it and stew on it.
Yeah, yep. And kind of just wrap your mind around it, because I don't know, like touring or like recording a new album is pretty strange. Like we've only really been playing like 4 of the songs that we're going to record live, so I feel like those are pretty comfortable. I feel like we'll be able to go into the studio and knock those out pretty quick. But for the other ones, I like to just kind of have an idea of what we're working with before we go in there, like just to memorize the damn lyrics. You know?
Yeah.
Like studios are so expensive, so you want to be as prepared as you can.
Yeah, you bet. You want to be able to get in there and get out in a couple days.
Yeah.
Where are you guys recording at?
We're gonna do it the same place we did our last album, Hillbilly Swing Music, a place called Fort Worth Sound. It's in Fort Worth. The engineer, his name's Bart Rose, and he works a lot around Fort Worth with a lot of like Texas artists, Texas musicians.
I love Texas country, man, like Hayes Carl and all those guys down there.
Yeah, I love it, and like I didn't realize, I just realized, I just moved to Texas 3 years ago. I'm originally from Chattanooga. Liz and I were just kind of lived in a van for a long time, and she's from Texas, so she kind of understands how things go. And then like when I moved out here, I didn't realize like the red dirt and Texas country thing was just like how big of a thing it is here.
Yeah, it's its own world, man.
It's totally its own world. Like there's so many artists down here that never leave Texas and Oklahoma and have like a really good career, which is great, and I would like to be able to do that too. Like I'd like to be able to just tour around Texas and be able to sustain, and then do some smaller tours out around the country and not have to be on the road all the time. But it's wild too, because they're almost a little bit like it's either red dirt or it's nothing to them. Like a lot of the radio stations and a lot of the critics and stuff like that. Like they're very exclusive to their own little Texas country thing, and I've been just trying to force myself in there.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, like we're in Texas, we're a country band, we're playing Texas influence, like Western swing influenced music. Like I don't understand why you guys are like, oh, that's not Texas country, I don't want nothing to do with it. If you just give it a listen, I'm trying to shove it in their faces.
Yeah.
Until they just give it a listen, because I mean, there are a lot of great Texas country artists and a lot of red dirt artists and stuff, but that's not necessarily like our sound, and I don't feel like we should get pushed off to the side because we're not forming into this little mold. So
yeah,
that's going to change by any means, but we're trying to force ourselves upon them.
Yeah, I understand how that goes, man. Like, I'm sure you talk to Fritz and Johnson. I'm sure they know all about that trouble.
Definitely.
Like, have been down there trying to force themselves on that scene forever. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's strange to find the people that do like it. Like we don't have this like cult following like a lot of like the red dirt guys do, simply because they're a red dirt band. And like Fritz and Johnson are kind of doing that too. Like they have their heavy metal honky tonk thing, and it's not that doesn't really fit in with the red dirt thing. But they're still badass, and people still listen to them.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of just playing shows, and it's just interesting to see the crowd that comes out. Like our crowd is a lot of like ex-punk rockers, from like ex-punk rockers to like old cowboys, and I don't know, like to look out over the demographic of a crowd that we're playing, like in Fort Worth or something, you'll see like mohawks and cowboy hats, and and then hippies with dreadlocks and tie dye, and like it's just a very eclectic crowd. I love it.
Yeah,
Texas has been really good to us so far.
Right on, man. Yeah, I like Texas. Yeah, I've never had much luck touring there, but it's a cool state, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, are you guys buying like a little homestead down there?
Well, Liz's dad owns a cattle ranch. We live in a little town. Well, not in the town, but we live. Our address is attached to a little town called Albany, Texas. It's kind of close to Abilene.
Uh-huh.
And her dad owns a cattle ranch out here, and he has been gracious enough to let us live out here after spending so many years just living in a van on the road. We needed to kind of find somewhere to live, and he was like, yeah, just come live out at the ranch. So we live in the middle of nowhere. It takes us about an hour to buy beer and then about an hour to get back home.
Huh.
So like we're out here. Yeah, gravel roads, like every red dirt song is where we live.
I'm surprised you guys got cell phone service out there.
Well, we just had to switch our cell phone company. Like the only one that has service out here is AT&T. We had Sprint for the longest time, and it's just a total dead zone out here. So we figured it out. We got cell service. We do have internet, but we don't have water. We're so far out that we don't have running water. We have to go into town and fill a big giant tank and haul it in, and then dump it in our cistern to get running water in the house. We have electricity, but like we're very remote, you know.
Oh wow. Damn,
Yeah.
that is fucking remote.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. After being on tour and like, you know, being in the bars and hustle bustle, being social with everybody, even like, I mean, you know, you've been on tour plenty of times. Like, you know, you're in a bar and like you're, you know, a month or two into a tour, you just don't feel like talking to somebody. Like they got some stupid shit you don't feel like talking to them, but you have to do it anyway. You know, like you feel like you want to reach out and talk to people and get to know people and stuff. So like after, you know, the hustle and bustle of being on tour all the time and stuff like that, to come out here and just absolute silence, you know, like you hear the coyotes howling off in the distance, and we trap pigs when we're not on tour, and it's deer season right now. I just filled all my tags. I got a freezer full of venison. So life is good, man. There really no complaints. It's really conducive for songwriting and just relaxing and just my overall mental health being out here.
Yeah.
I love it.
I was gonna say, well, fuck, dude, that's a luxury compared to touring a lot of the times, you know. I mean,
shit, yeah.
brushing your teeth in a fucking Walmart, you know. That was Bob's thing. It's like Walmart parking lots, you know that, because
yep.
Walmart parking lots with Bob Wayne. Brush my teeth in plenty of Walmart bathrooms or parking lots, but
they got a bathroom. I just wish Walmart had showers. Walmart would put in some showers, man.
I'm a big guy too, so like I like to shower every day. It's like my one like prima donna thing on tour is like I'll sleep in the van, I'll sleep on the fucking ground, I'll do whatever, but goddamn, I need a shower every day. You know?
I feel the same way, man. Like
if I don't, I get all itchy.
It just makes me feel better.
Yeah,
it makes me feel better. Like it makes it to where like I can perform better. Cause and a lot of things like my nose and my throat, getting in a hot shower like opens my nose and my throat up. Like I try to shower every day if I can.
Yeah,
some
that's
days,
me
you know, you got to have a stretch every now and then where you can't, where you're running and gunning. But you know, like I really do like to shower every day.
I think the longest I went was 9 days one time, and I hated every second of it. Like and then we hit Pittsburgh, I think is where we hit, and it was like in February, and it was hot and muggy for some fucking reason. I was like, so then that was finally I got a shower that day, but I remember being like, this is gonna be bad. Like,
yeah, it would be a minute.
Yeah, I'm dumping sweat, and I haven't showered in days. But
yeah, like I'm totally the same way though. Like I don't mind sleeping on the floor, sleeping in the van, being like funky, like roughing it or whatever. But what my saving grace is in the morning is taking a shower and just like washing that feeling off, and like the hangovers and that. Nothing makes me feel better like when I'm hungover than like taking a shower and shaving. Like a clean shave, I'm like, yes, let's take on the day, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people love their beards, but I don't know. I was in the Navy. When I was in the Navy, I had to shave every day, and I swore, like, when I get out, I'm never shaving again. And then when I got out, I couldn't stand it. I couldn't grow a beard. So, I mean, I could grow a beard. I just didn't want. It just made my face itch. I hated the feeling. So, like, when I'm hungover and I shave, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do something. Let's rock.
I've always had like kind of a beard, but it's like I've always maintained it pretty good, and like, but I can never really grow like a good one. But I've let it go, and it's like it's kind of driving me nuts right now because it's like really this the longest it's been. So I've been debating on shaving it, but it's also like finally coming in okay. Like I hit like second puberty or something, and my beard's finally
Well, that
going
looks
up.
all right. I'm just gonna deal with the itch. Yeah.
I want to see where this goes before I just go and hack it all up. But yeah, I cut all my
Yeah.
hair off too.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, but
No,
that
I
was
haven't seen it.
different. Yeah, that was different because I had long hair since I was like 17. I finally got tired of that, so growing hair on my face and taking it off the top of my head. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
you'd probably go crazy with long hair, huh? Because
Oh man, my hair is so long right now.
Oh, is
It's
it?
the longest it's ever been, right? And it's not that long. It's just crazy. Liz, like after all my legal stuff, I got a haircut before my first court date. And after they dismissed it, I was like, "Fuck that, man! I ain't cutting my hair no more." And now it is like none of my hats fit. My hair isn't like it doesn't grow down; it just grows up and out. So I look like Weird Einstein. Yeah, Weird Einstein, right?
That's kind of natural though. Like once it gets a little heavier, it'll go down if you keep at it. There's always this like fucked up awkward point when you grow your hair out where you got to like wear a beanie or a hat everywhere you go because you can't fucking comb it. It looks dumb when you comb it, and then it's too. You can't pull it back, and it's not heavy enough to lay down. So
that's exactly where I'm at right now. I'm gonna grow the fuck it.
Yeah, you should see where it goes. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
get yourself a Willie Nelson braid or something later on.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you're living off the grid. You might as well. But I think you should probably try a beard too, though, if you're gonna go that route.
I don't know, Liz will kill me. Liz hates it. But you're scruffy. Yeah.
Right on. Now, are you guys? So you guys got? Do you guys got like a little studio out there? Because Liz did some fiddle for me not long ago.
It's like we kind of have it's a makeshift studio. I got a pretty nice computer. I just got this interface, and we kind of turned this room into kind of a studio where Liz has just been doing like just tracking for other people, and that's been working out pretty well. It's not ready to like record our own like whole album, and I don't think I'd want to do that anyway. Like I would love at some point. Actually, you want to hear my goal? What I'd really love to do is to get one of those like shipping containers, like a big, like a freight container,
Yeah.
Bury it underground and put a studio in that. That's what I would really love to do. That's hopefully in the next couple of years. That's what I really want to do. And I don't think it'll necessarily be for like recording our own albums or anything like that, but just for ideas.
Yeah.
And for like messing with stuff. Like I play a lot of different instruments, and just to be able to kind of play with yourself type thing. Like when if I want to play guitar, I could lay a guitar track down or lay a bass track or lay a banjo track or something like that, and just have fun.
Yeah.
Just something fun to do. Just get down to shit.
That's funny. A guy like that buried one of those shipping containers out here and grew weed in it.
Hell yeah.
He got busted before it was legal up here. They nailed him with the planes because they could see this big hot spot in the middle of the fucking ground.
Yeah, in the ground.
Yeah, because all the lights and shit, they sent the planes over. But yeah, those shipping containers are cool, man. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'd like to do. Well, I'd like to do the cannabis thing. Like, a hemp just went legal, federally, kinda. I guess like because the government shut down right now, it kind of put a hold up on what all's going on. But hopefully, Texas is going to go legal for industrial hemp soon, and that's going to be our next endeavor. We'd like to do that. We have a bunch of land out here, and I want to be a hemp farmer.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about farming. I don't know the first thing about farming, but I want to be a hemp farmer.
Well, hemp's great, man. So is cannabis. It's like, I'm a fucking huge advocate. And if you would have hit me up like 6 years ago, like I would have been like, I've always been pro weed, but at the same time, I was like, kind of like, come on, guys, like it's not this fucking miracle, it's just weed.
Yeah.
But I think they've fucking proven that that's not the case.
Right.
This drug and hemp included as well, it could fucking save the world, I think. And
I agree.
ways. And
I really do.
I think the reason that it's not is because all the wrong people are keeping it out.
Definitely, it's a money
Businessmen,
thing.
big pharma. Anybody with
Hmm.
money doesn't want it because they know it's gonna make things a lot cheaper for a lot of things. It's a cheaper way to make a plastic. It's a cheaper way to cure cancer. It's a cheaper way to cure anything, really.
Yeah, yeah. Also, and just the textiles and the industrial side of it, like the things that they can do. They can, making fuels. They can make
Yeah,
paper. They can, instead of like clear cutting all these forests and taking the mountaintops off the mountains in East Tennessee, where I'm from, and all this like bullshit, just destroying the earth that we're on. We have this resource that we could grow and that we could use, but for because of like capitalism, because like profit and things like along those lines, as well as people just in an old state of mind, especially around Texas. Like you talk to people about hemp in
yeah,
Texas, and they're like, "What? You're gonna grow what?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's different though. You can't even smoke it. We're just gonna grow it, and we're gonna make paper out of it, so we don't have to clear cut all these trees." And a lot of people just don't understand it. So whenever it gets going in Texas, I want to be the damn West Texas weed czar. A lot of people have no idea. They're like, "Well, you're gonna grow it for the hippies?" Like, no, man, that's not even how it goes. Like, it's just you don't even smoke this weed. It's just a plant. And Texas is such an agricultural state. There's so much open land, and everybody's looking for a cash crop. Everybody has land, and everybody wants to grow stuff. Give these farmers a chance. And then once that ball gets rolling, the research and development is going to get going, and there's going to be a huge market for hemp, just for like everything from soap to people are going to be using hemp in all sorts of things. And it's not every bottle of soap is going to have a pot leaf on it. It's just going to be an ingredient that's in the soap. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to take over the world and everybody's going to be a bunch of hippies. I'm like, I really think it is a stepping stone into a cleaner, better future for the whole world, really.
yeah. Um, yeah, I couldn't have put it a better way, really. And we were talking about Jesse Dayton earlier, and I was reading something that he posted on 420 last year about how the reason that hemp or the reason that marijuana got criminalized and it got so taboo with like the reefer madness stuff and all those commercials is because a businessman that was involved in plastics, I can't remember exactly who it was, paid a bunch of money to make all these commercials and stuff because he knew that hemp was coming along making all these plastics and stuff that were cleaner and a better way to go about doing things, and it would have put him out of business if
Yeah.
these things would have came along. So a lot of these companies put all this money into making the reefer madness kind of videos and stuff.
This crazy propaganda stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
propaganda. That was the word I was looking for. I should have known. I throw that word around all the time because I think it's funny, but yeah, all that propaganda came from that was big businesses making that shit up
Yep.
to better
Yeah, it's
their
crazy.
own business.
Yeah, it wasn't even about keeping kids safe or like keeping people off of drugs or anything along those. It was about their pockets getting lined.
Yeah.
It's about money. And I mean, like at some point, yeah, it would be great to be able to grow like cannabis, like with THC, grow some like awesome and amazing nuclear nugs. That would be awesome. I'd love to be able to do that. But for right now, like I'm totally okay. Like if that's if we could start taking the steps towards growing industrial hemp, because the prices that you're getting paid back on hemp is insane compared to what you get back on hay and what you get back on like alfalfa and cotton and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of poor farmers out there, like we can like help these people, you know.
Yeah. And another thing too is if cannabis does go legal federally, and I think it will probably in the next 3-4 years, maybe a little longer, but you'll be set up to make that transition because the growing process isn't there's not a huge difference. I think you got to take a lot more care in cannabis, but you'd have a lot of the equipment you'd need already, I think.
Yeah, yeah. From the research that I've done, you just pretty much need the same equipment that you need to harvest hay,
Mm-hmm.
to plant and harvest hay. I mean, that's pretty much what you're doing. Just a field. You're not even like doing little separate plots and like keeping them separate from each other, and like you're just planting a big giant field. the cannabis plants, and I
Well,
can't
they
wait
call
to
it weed for a reason, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's because once you get it going, it fucking sprouts up. Like a couple years ago, I decided, like, I found a seed in this shit that I got at a dispensary that I really liked, and I was like, holy shit, this never happens. And it was in springtime, so I was like, well, fuck, I'll see if I can germinate it, and it fucking
Stick in the
germinated.
ground.
And
Hell
then,
yeah.
so I put it in a pot, and that fucking thing sprouted up so quick. Pretty soon, my whole house smelled like weed. I had to give it to somebody. I was like, I didn't expect this shit to happen. I'm like, dude, you got to get this shit out of my house. If my landlord comes in, I'm fucked. Like, because my whole house reeks like weed, and like, but yeah, we ended up getting like an ounce or two off of it. It kind of went to shit towards the end, but I didn't do hardly anything to it. I put it in some potting soil and watered the fuck out of it, put it outside. It didn't have any fancy ass lights or anything, you know.
Yeah, it'll grow.
It sprouts up if you want it to. I mean, the good stuff comes with a lot of care, but you know, if you just want a little buzz or something, you know, you can grow shit out of weed.
Yeah. So I'm down. Let's do this. Let's legalize this shit.
Yeah, like we're long overdue. I mean, people are getting hammered and fucking. And then there's another thing too. Is I think the alcohol business is fucking getting scared. You know.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like you fucking if there had been the world would have a lot more happier place in like the 60s, 70s, 80s. Fuck now, even if you know dads would come home and smoke weed, not drink. You know. I mean,
Big time.
how many kids, you know, I mean my grandfather was one of them. I mean my uncles and aunts and mom have just horror stories about my grandpa being such a fucking piece of shit when he was drinking. And he got sober in his 50s, ended up becoming like or actually in like his 40s, but he ended up becoming a alcohol counselor in his 50s and stuff. So it completely changed his life around. But if my grandpa would have came home smoking weed instead of drinking, I think that whole story would have been completely different, you know?
Totally. Definitely. Yeah. And like you really can't even compare the two. You know,
No.
like the way that they try to the way that the laws are coming into place, we're going to regulate it the same way we do alcohol. Which I mean, like that's cool. If like that's how we're going to do it, and that's how we have to get the ball rolling, then let's do that. But they're two different things. They're two different things. They affect your body completely differently. There's benefits of one that aren't the same as the other. You know, like and I just we just need to look at it for what it is and not try to compare it to anything and say that this is better than that or you know this is going to you know change things. You know, like it just doesn't matter because it's a totally different thing.
Yeah, no,
you know?
it is for sure. It's that's for sure.
Yeah, but I agree. Like you know, like if Grandpa would come home and smoke a doobie after he get off work, he'd be chill and just want to eat dinner and hang out and like watch cartoons.
Yeah.
You know, instead of you know just being a shitty person. My dad was a drunk too. My dad was a shitty drunk. He was just sloppy, just like not even there. You know, like not even around, not even coherent. He would get home from work, get hammered. He ended up getting fired from his job from being drunk at work. So if he had been smoking weed instead of drinking, which he probably would have been doing both, you know, like most they could kind of go hand in hand, I guess. But yeah, if it had been smoking weed, and he would have, you know, it would have just been a little more peaceful, a little less angry, I think.
Well, yeah, even if you throw weed on top of booze, it's probably going to make somebody go to sleep, you know?
Yeah, go to bed, dude.
You get cross-faded, you know, you're not going to be a mean drunk, at least, you know?
Yeah. So we're hopeful. We're hopeful it'll go legal soon.
Yeah.
And hopefully all these people that have been incarcerated for all these years for stupid shit, hopefully everything, I don't know. I think that our country's in a crazy place right now, but I almost feel like we needed a crazy place to bounce back and, well, you know, open a lot of people's eyes and realize, like, holy shit, like, what are we doing?
Well, I think a lot of people, like this last election, I think one thing that taught people was like, oh shit, like, we got to watch what's going on because there's still a lot of problems out there.
Yeah,
and
definitely are.
And if we don't fucking do something to fix all this shit, there's always going to be there, you know. And I think it's messy, and it's probably going to be messy for a while. But I'm hopeful that we'll come out cleaner on the other side, you know, like you were just saying.
Yeah, I think so. I think you need to like tear some stuff down to be able to build it up.
I think there was a lot of unfinished business, you know. A lot of, like I said, a lot of people got comfortable. Like, we've got a prison system that's fucked.
Yeah.
Like you were just saying, like we got child molesters doing a year and people selling weed doing 20, you know, like that's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
And then we got
absolutely.
prison systems. Most of them are prisons are mostly privately owned. People don't understand that. There's somebody
Yeah.
getting rich off incarcerating people.
Yes.
It's fucking
Yeah, and
stupid.
I really do think our country needs a criminal justice reform in a big way. Like I got to, not that I got to, but I ended up seeing how the criminal justice system works firsthand. Like you hear about it in social studies class and how it's supposed to work, and you'll hear some horror stories from your uncle that got pulled over for some stupid shit or whatever. But what I was involved in was insane. It was crazy. I tried to we tried to get a room at a hotel room, and the clerk accused us of robbing him, right? So we left, he called the police, and all of a sudden I have a felony robbery warrant out for my arrest, right? So we're continuing our tour. Like 4 or 5 days later, we're playing in New Mexico, and I wake up in the morning. We played a show in New Mexico, got a motel room. I woke up in the morning to a dozen cops kicking my door open at gunpoint, pulling me out in the street in my underwear and like running me through the ringer and like pretty much like making fun of me, laughing at me, giving me like a serious hard time, which I had done nothing. Like the innocent till proven guilty in this country is bullshit. So just like me seeing firsthand, and then like whenever I went to jail and I turned myself in and I had to spend time in jail, and then they ended up letting me out, and then I had to go deal with the DA who didn't want me to have bail. She was saying that I was a threat to society because all the DA wants is to have a win in her column. It doesn't matter who I am, whether I actually am a threat to society. It didn't matter. Like I didn't even have a face. I didn't have a story. To her, I'm a criminal. And the way that she gets elected come the next election is by her record. So she wants to have wins in the column. So they offered me this bullshit misdemeanor plea, which was the lowest misdemeanor you could get, but they offered me this plea because they knew damn well they couldn't convict me with a jury trial. But she just didn't want to have a loss. She didn't want to just let me go. She wanted to still have a win by having me confess to some bullshit that I didn't do. And like my story, that's just like a small little bitty story of all the other stories that go on in this country all the fucking time. And it's all about money, and it's all about people being greedy, and all about selfishness, and it has nothing to do with what is right and what is wrong. And our government needs to stop making money off of people's lives. That's how I feel about it.
God damn, that's intense. And anybody who's listening to this, the two people that listen to my show, like take into consideration this could happen to fucking anybody.
Anybody.
Somebody.
Seriously, anybody. Blew me away. I didn't do anything. There was nothing I did at all. I did nothing illegal. I did nothing wrong, and all of a sudden I had a felony charge on my back. Which when like you just getting a felony charge, you don't just go into the jail and be like, hey, I didn't do it. You got to go through this big. It costs me like $10,000, and then because of the way the system's set up, they can accuse you, and they don't have any responsibility for that. They don't have to pay me any money back. I can't sue the guy that falsely accused me because that's just the way the system is set up. I'm out $10,000, which I didn't have. Like, thankfully, like we have a lot of fans of the band where we recorded a CD to try to make some money real quick. But your average working guy that just does everybody just have $10,000 laying around just in case the cops want to just come and get you?
Yeah.
But meanwhile, if something bad does happen, like I've been burglarized, I don't know how many times, and the cops want to do nothing about it. Like I just don't understand how the system is working. Like it just seems like every time I get involved with the system, it is not looking out for me. You know?
Yeah. Well, fuck, we're poor. That's why.
Yeah.
That's just fucking that simple. That's the fucking problem in this world. And then they convince middle class that the poor people's the fucking problem because middle class is just almost there. They can taste that fucking getting to the high class.
Yeah.
But us poor people fucking, they fuck us. And we're, I'm not going to say they're the reason we're poor because, but they don't help our fucking matters,
Right. Yeah. And it's a system. And once you get caught up in something, then like it's so easy to get caught up into something. Like if I had pled to the misdemeanor charge that they tried to give me, I would have had to pay this guy's medical bills, which I didn't even hurt him. I didn't even do anything, but he went into the doctor. He got a checkup, so I would have had to pay his medical bills. And then I would also had to do 3 years probation, checking in with a probation officer for the next 3 years of my life. Like, what is that? Like, I didn't even do anything for this little minimum, like, misdemeanor. They want me to come in, and I have to pay for the probation. I have to pay court costs. I have to pay all this shit for something I didn't even do. But they were hoping that I would just say, okay, I'll just accept that charge.
Well, it's because most people do. Most people get fucking scared into doing it, and part of it is it's money. They're like, fuck, I don't have the money to keep fighting anymore. You know?
Right.
Personally, I think if you win a goddamn case, you should get all your money back.
I think so too. I think either the state, either the DA who was pushing it owes me some money, or the guy that falsely accused me of this shit. Somebody owes me some fucking money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's how
I'm not going to get it. I'm just going to be bitter about it.
No. Fuck no, you won't, man. We don't even get all the taxes we pay back, you know, like we're supposed to. You know, every year it's like, well, we're only giving you this much back. Well, fuck, when you first started it, you got all of it back, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we've paid taxes throughout the day anyway. Any purchase you make, you're paying taxes. You know, anything that you pay for, you're paying taxes on it. Whether it's like some sort of tax, like that the state puts adds to something, like the way they do alcohol and the way they do gas and stuff like that. They put extra taxes on that, or just a straight sales tax for just going and buying a candy bar or something.
Well,
you know?
Fuck, both of us are paying tax on these cell phones we're talking on right now. You know?
Absolutely, yeah, we're getting taxed our asses out. But they don't. The system isn't built for the people. It's not for bettering society.
No.
So that's my political rant.
Well, I dig it, man. Like, this is what the show's about. As I like to talk about what people are doing too, but I also like to get like this bullshit, man. Like, I don't like to be too serious. I don't like to just be like, we're just going to talk about this, you know. I'm really glad that you opened up about this, because I think a lot of people out there are probably wondering what the fuck happened to you, because I know that it was, I was worried because like, I knew it was probably something along those lines, but I knew you couldn't talk about it. And I knew there's your whole fan base knows what kind of guy you are. And to know that a person like you was going through this shit, like, I'm like, my karma's way worse than his, you know, like Jared's one of the greatest, like, he's one of the nicest fucking guys I know, man. Like, this is bullshit. And I think a lot of people really wanted to know what was going on there.
Yeah. Well, like a lot of people too, and like rightfully so, a lot of people thought it was like, oh, Jared got a possession charge, Jared got busted with weed or something like that, which if that was the case, yeah, I'd bitch about it, but like that's the game that I play.
Knew it was something else from the get-go.
If it was just like some little weed bullshit petty charges, like, okay, I'll eat that. Like, it's like I know that risk whenever I have weed and whatever. But with this just totally came out of left field and had nothing to do with anything. It was, oh man, it was just so bizarre. And it like fucked my head up really bad. I was like seriously depressed for a while. Paranoid as shit, like seeing cops behind, like
anytime I was man.
Yeah, I mean, they just, their system is just messed up. How it works, it's strange. And like I hear a lot of people say too, like, oh, you're a musician, you shouldn't be talking about politics. You should keep your politics to yourself and just write songs. And I can't do that anymore. I can't. Like I'd still like writing fun, happy songs and silly stuff because I'm a silly guy, But there's also a lot of other things going on in the world that I can't keep my mouth shut about, And if there's something that I come up with and some words have a melody, those songs need to be played and those things need to be said.
Well, I hate that my family too, because it's like I'm not your fucking monkey. Too.
Right.
It's most of the time that people say that, they've got like this attitude about it, like just shut up and play music. Like, no, fuck you. If you don't like what I've got to say, then don't listen to my fucking music.
They're
or
like,
you
could
just agree to disagree with me, which is fine too.
Right.
Like I'm okay with you disagreeing with me, but I'm not going to tell you to shut the fuck up and you don't even play music. I'm not like shut the fuck up and go be a lawyer or or go fucking mow a lawn or whatever the fuck you do for a living.
Yeah.
That's if everybody did that, we'd all be fucked. Like nobody'd be talking about anything that was going on, and they'd be fucking us even harder than they are fucking us already.
Yeah. You can't, and I really do feel like our country has had the wool pulled over its eyes for so long. Everybody was just sitting fat, dumb, and happy. And I mean, this is something that I used to say like 10 years ago. Like people in Europe and in different countries and different areas of the world are way more politically minded. They have a lot more invested in what's going on in their country. For the longest time in our country, people were just, whatever, man, as long as my football game's on, everything's cool. You know, I'm going to work. They're going to take their tax money, but as long as I get to watch football and eat ribs on the weekend, then everything's going to be fine, you know. And I'm glad that people are starting to wake up and realize that everything's not fine. Everything's not great, but then there's a lot of improvements to make. I still love our country. I've served for our country. I'm a veteran. Like, I served 5 years on submarines serving our country. And it kind of turns my stomach to see how things are going. Like, that's what I dedicated my time to. That's all the sacrifice, all these, like, fuck-ups in my head that I have to deal with every day. That's why I did that. It disgusts me. I have to say something about it. I can't just let it go anymore. And I have a lot of veterans give me a hard time.
Fucking served. Oh yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah, they're like, what? How can you say that about the country you serve? You're a traitor now. I'm like, I'm not a fucking traitor. I consider myself a patriot because if I see a problem, if my friend has a booger in their nose, I'm gonna tell my friend, you got a booger in your nose. We need to fix that, dude. You know, I really feel like you can't just ignore problems. Problems can be solved. And everybody needs to talk. Like, it's a bipartisan issue. It's not a Republican issue. It's not a Democrat issue. There's a lot of issues in our country, and I think both of them are fucked up.
Me too.
And I think we all need to start talking about it. We need to come to some agreements and fix things.
Yeah. Well, this whole concept of being scared to vote for a third party's horse shit too. I hate it.
That's bullshit.
Everybody, there's always, that's how the Democrats fucking do. They get a lot of people to vote Democrat because of that. I think they're like, well, if you don't vote for Democrat, you're essentially just voting for a Republican. Well, that's kind of true, but we could change that if we stopped having that mentality.
Yeah, if our whole cultural mentality wasn't, it's either this team or that team. And somebody and we actually gave the other independent people a chance to come up and talk. There's plenty of great independent politicians. I mean, all politicians are fucking assholes, but there's plenty of people that have good ideas that are of the independent sect. It doesn't have to be a Democrat or Republican or this team or that team type thing. Why can't we just, as a country, do what is right and take care of our people and do the right thing for our people?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you totally got like a Bloods and Crip mentality to it almost,
Yeah, yes.
Like what you need to pick
I'm not going to listen to what that side
get
says.
shit done,
Yeah, and whatever this side says, it's not going to work. I don't like it's because that side said it. And, like there's things that, I don't know, we can fix it. We can do better. That's what I fought for. And veterans will tell me, I can't believe you're talking bad about the commander-in-chief. Like, dude, when I was in the Navy, I listened to what the commander-in-chief said because that's what my chain of command, like that, he was in my chain of command. I was there to do a job. I volunteered my body and my time to do that. My oath is over, dude. My time is up, and that shit's fucked up, and something needs to be done about it.
Yeah, that it is, man.
Yeah.
Well, shit, hey, are you guys working on any High on the Hog?
Oh man, I wish. We had such a good time doing High on the Hog, and it was like a week ago. We sat around the house and watched all the episodes again, and it was such a good time doing it. We just getting to hang out with our friends that are in bands and getting to do like some art and like creative shit, and like it was so much fun. But it takes a lot of time, and it's a lot of money. Like the way we did High on the Hog, the way we came up with the funding to do it was we were trapping hogs out here, and all of a sudden, holy shit! Like we ended up having quite a bit of money like set aside. Like whoa! Like this trapping hog thing ended up working. So we're like, what are we gonna do with it? Let's start a TV show. Let's do something creative with it. So we started doing that, and then like we spent the winter doing it. We did like 6 or 7 episodes, I think, and then. When we started touring again in the spring, it was like, boom, like we had no time. We were gone all the time. We were thinking about doing it from the road, but I don't know, like we just kind of like the format that we have. So we were thinking about doing that. And then this legal stuff came up. So like and then Liz and I also got married last year. So it's been pushed to the wayside momentarily. Hopefully, we'll make some money again at some point in the future and be able to spend it on that, because I really did enjoy it. I hope other people liked it. I don't know. Like we got some feedback. Some people loved it. Some people thought it was shitty quality, but it was shitty quality. It was DIY as hell.
Yeah.
did whatever we could do, and I don't know. I had a lot of fun. I'm proud of what we
I
what we
liked it,
did.
man. I mean,
Thank you.
if you had kept going at it, I mean, that just kind of happens, man. You're not going to be at the quality you want to be when you first start out doing something like that.
Right.
I've been like working on trying to do something like that forever, but it's just it's expensive, and
Yeah.
you got to build that shit piece by piece. You can't just go out and buy everything at once. And then even if you could, you're still gonna have to take time to learn to utilize everything. It's almost good to put it together like a puzzle, because you get a piece of equipment, you learn how to use it right, and then you add something else to it, and then instead of trying to learn how to work all this equipment at once,
Yeah, that was a trip. And like when we like the setup that we have, it wasn't right. Like I realized that at the time, but like that's what we can make work, so that's what we did, and we made it work. And like the sound quality on some stuff wasn't that great. The video quality might not have been the best, but we made this little thing, and I'm proud of it. I like what we did, and I agree. Like if we did start doing it again, I think the quality would jump up greatly, because we've already done it before, so we kind of know what we're doing. And I'd like to do it again. It's just a matter of maybe having some time. So maybe like down the road, whenever we get our hemp farm going and shit, we'll have a little bit of time to go hang out in the barn and record some stuff. That would be awesome. Something down the line to be able to do it again.
Yeah, because that was fun, man. I was hoping you'd tell me you were working on something, but I know how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, we still have all the stuff that we were using before. I still have all the equipment. It's just it's been a matter of time, and all the other.
What kind of cameras were you guys using?
Some bullshit Sony cameras. Like nothing crazy. Like I think they were like $100 or something like that on Amazon.
Really?
And then yeah.
How do you mic everything all together?
I got a board. I got a Behringer mixing board on Amazon. We bought a shit ton of stuff on Amazon. I got a mixing board, and that's now our PA, like that the band travels with to play. So like we've also been able to utilize the things that we bought like in the band type thing.
So you just record it like regular audio and then edit it all together?
Yeah, the way I was doing it, I had one stationary camera where there was a line from the board into the camera. So that was the main audio. And then we had a couple other cameras that would get different shots, and then I would sync them all up, and I would edit it down in Adobe Premiere, and that's how that would all end up coming out. So like I would mix it just on the fly. Like there was everything was coming in as one channel. Like it was going into the board as separate channels. Like we had like multiple microphones set up on the stage, but I would mix it on the fly as the band was playing. It was like what was going into the mixing board was coming out in one channel and just going directly into the camera, and that's where the audio was. So it would have been a lot better to have a separate audio interface into the computer, so I had separate channels, so I would have been able to actually edit the audio a little bit better. But that was a learning process. We didn't really know what the hell we were doing.
Yeah, because I've been working on doing some stuff like that too, like doing these interviews. I used to do a podcast too. I don't know if you remember when I was doing Dogwater Radio or not, but
yeah,
I really loved doing that. And one of my favorite things to do is the interview part of it. So just doing this little thing here has like been great. I went through I've been going through like a big life change this last year where like I worked a job for 5 years and I really liked it, but the last 2 years it was just like numbing, and I just was like, I'm not doing anything to try to like better me, I'm not doing things that I like to do as much, and I was like really losing that, coming to the terms with that with Ruckus too, like Ruckus was becoming more stress than fun because of, just certain elements and stuff. So it's like, I've got to change everything and start doing more things that I like. So I'm going to try to work on building something to where I can do this a little more high quality, maybe do some video stuff too. And then I want to learn how to edit all that stuff myself too. And but just starting out with just a little phone app, I'm like, I got to do something like now, and I'll build from there.
Yeah, I totally hear you, man. You got to be doing stuff that you enjoy. And especially if something that you enjoyed before is becoming more work and more stress, then maybe put it on the back burner. You know, I mean, like that's kind of how High on the Hog got. Like we did some episodes, and it was just I was like really stressed. Like I was giving myself deadlines and stuff. And then I got to a point where I realized, like, dude, I'm not even getting paid for this. Like, I'm not even, you know, like, this isn't even a job. Like, I'm stressing about this more than I would, like, an actual job. So that's kind of why that got put on the back burner. And I think we will do it again. But like you said, you kind of need to, like, step back, regroup, and then go for it again. Like, also, like, Liz and I got married last year, and we had, like, a music festival called Walk the Surf Music Festival. And a lot of people have been asking us about, like, are we going to do that again? And I would love to do that again. And what we did, like, for our wedding was awesome, and I would love to be able to recreate something like that. But again, there was a lot of stress and took a lot of time and a lot of money, and we just didn't have that this year. So we're going to put that on the back burner again. So I'm hoping that maybe 2020 we'll come back out and have a lot more creative shit going on. If we can get the farm thing going and we won't be touring as much, then I definitely want to do more like media type creative stuff. If we're not, you know, because I get my fill a lot of it from being on stage and on touring and writing songs and playing songs. And if we're not going to be touring as much because we have to be here at the farm, then I've got to get that out somehow.
Yeah, that's
we'd probably get it out through video, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's dude. That's kind of where I was at too, because I used to tour a bit, and then things slowed down, and I had to fill that somehow, and that was how Ruckus came about, and
Right.
Dog Water came about, and doing this is like, you know, I really love that part of me. And honestly, when I go out now, it's kind of like it fucking hurts a lot more, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like almost wish I wouldn't have stopped because now that when I go out, I come back, I'm sore. I need like a bunch of time to recoup.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But yeah. So, but I know how you feel there, man. It's why I try to stay busy doing something with music and something. But yeah, using the media or like, you know, social media or YouTube stuff like that is a great way to kind of supplement those feelings.
Yeah.
Of missing.
Still got to play songs. Yeah. Still, like, and that's why we do it. That's why we tour. That's why we do the dumb shit that we do, is because we have to play and we have to write and we have to, you know, we have to get people hearing what we have to say and the songs that we have to come up with and stuff. Like, that's a big, I mean, if I didn't, I don't know, like, without the songs, there's no point in touring. You know, you have to, you know, like, without the music, then, like, I don't necessarily just tour because, I mean, and I do.
It's definitely not for the fame or the money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely not the fame or the money. You know, like there's that. So, I mean, if you got it in you, you got to get it out. And I think any artist would understand that. And it really doesn't matter the medium either. I mean, if you're a painter, you know, I would think that, you know, if you're painting and you love painting and you want to paint for other people to see it, whether it's commission work or not, like, you still have to do that. Like, it's part of you, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know?
That's for sure. I think my grandpa always said that there's right brains and there's left brains, and a lot of my family, he would say, they're right brains. You know, he's like, but you're always one of the few that are left brains, and I think what he means by that is, like, if you got like an artist's soul, you gotta have, you know, you gotta get that, like you just said, that out somehow.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. You got to do it if you're a creative person. And there are plenty of people out there that are creative. They're just creative in different ways. But, you know, plumbers and electricians, like that. I also see that as like some sort of art form. And they do it for money.
Yeah.
But I know plenty of plumbers and electricians that really do love their trade. Like welding. Yeah. Like, you know, it's not just a matter of putting two pieces of metal together. Like, people take pride in their work, and it is an art form.
Well, yeah. A good welder, man. It's hard to come by.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I'm with you there too, because every personality makes this world go around. You know, I think a lot of the times we push our kids to go to college and spend all this money on an education, and I think more often than not, a lot of people just waste that fucking money. And I think a lot more people, if you enjoy doing that kind of work, go do it, man. You know?
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't personally
if you learn to
like
trade
it,
and you can make money at it.
Yeah. I don't personally enjoy it myself, but fuck, my uncles are great welders, and you can tell that's what they like to do. You know?
Yeah. they're like welding hats when they're not even welding. You know, like,
or they're welding shit on their days off, or working on shit on their days off. They love it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's do it, man. Do what you love in this life, no matter what it is.
Hell yeah.
If you don't have to go to college, it's a fucking plus, really, you know.
Yeah. I think the way people push kids into college is kind of wrong. It gets kids stuck with these, you know, all this crazy ass loans.
Well, it kind of goes along with part of the whole system thing we were talking about earlier, in my opinion. Oh, sorry, I just burped right in your ear. But it kind of goes along with a lot of the shit we're saying earlier. I mean, that educational system is part of the whole fucking government system, and they want you to think that you need to spend money on education, and you do for certain things, but you don't have to come into high school when you don't know shit, and all you want to do is get drunk and go right into fucking going to school and spending all this money. You know, you got time, man. I
wish kids knew that they had time. Like when I got out of high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, and everybody was pushing me. They're like, you got to go to college. What do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to be? Like, I don't know. All I know is I don't want to work in this steel warehouse anymore. If I was working in this steel warehouse doing shipping and receiving, I was like, that's all I know, is I don't want to do that anymore. So then I ended up joining the Navy, and I got a lot of job experience there, and then I got my GI Bill. And I didn't go to school until I was 30 years old. I went to college when I was 30 for website design, and I'm just really fortunate that that's the route that I took. Even if I had paid for it instead of using my GI Bill, I'm really glad that that's the route that I took. Instead of, I have so many friends that, like, fresh out of high school, boom, they went to this big university and really didn't learn that much, or ended up dropping out and are just stuck with all these student debt, all these student loans, and you're just digging yourself out of a hole for forever. Now, if you want to be a doctor, like if you're 18 years old and like that's what you want to do, like you know you want to be a doctor, or you know you want to be a teacher, fucking do it, dude. That's what college is for. Go do that shit. Mm-hmm. But if you're, 18 years old and you're confused still, you don't really know what you want to do, I don't think anybody should be forced into going into something.
Go out, get a job, get some roommates.
Yeah, go get a job. Yeah,
go
fuck up your life a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, you don't have to put yourself fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt just to fuck your life up. Like, go do it and don't be in debt.
yeah. Just go do it. Go do what you're gonna do anyway. Just not have the debt.
I went to college at 23, and that was still too young for me. You know, I still fucked it up because I still wasn't ready, and I still picked some shit because everybody was pressuring me. You know, into to doing.
Gotta do something. Yeah, gotta do something.
And I picked some shit, and I thought it'd work, and it wasn't for me. I think a lot of the times you figure out things you like to do by trying things too. You know.
Yeah.
Don't fucking you don't just have to pick something or think about it real hard. Go out and fuck around, you know? Maybe you'll find something you love by accident.
Yeah. And there's had to be at least 5 or 6 different times throughout my life where I was in a position and a point where I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know? Whether it was like being in the Navy, or when I got out of the Navy, I got a job at a chemical factory that paid pretty good, and then I'm, playing music, and then there's just so many different aspects of your life that you're in. And you're like, yeah, I could do this the rest of my life. And then after like 5 years of doing it, you're like, that's pretty cool, but I still like doing it, but maybe I'll just do it in a different kind of way, It's just you don't have to tie yourself down. I wish a lot of kids realized that the adults that are all around them telling them they need to figure out what they do have no fucking idea what they want to do still, know?
Yeah.
So,
I understand that for sure.
Yep.
Well, shit, man. You got anything else you want to add to this whole thing?
I think that's about it. If you want to check out our music and stay up to date with Urban Pioneers, we have a website, urbanpioneersmusic.com. You can also find us on the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, all that shit. Go give us a like. We have a mailing list on our website because Facebook doesn't tell people when things are happening.
Yeah.
But we will email you directly and tell you when we have a new album coming out or when we are coming your way.
Cool. Send me any links too. I'll put it in the description section of the YouTube video, and when I share this on the Facebook, I'll make sure to put all the links on there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, dog. But it's been a pleasure talking to you, man.
This has been a great interview, man. It was fucking awesome talking to you too, man. Not all of them go like this sometimes. Like it's really smooth, and I appreciate you being so open about what happened to you. Like I wasn't gonna push it, and I appreciate. I think a lot of people wanted to know what was going on. So
I did feel good to be able to get it off my chest now. For so long, I just had it just like
Well, yeah,
on
you
my
want to be able to
shoulders.
tell people what's going on, too. Because
Yeah,
it's happening
yeah.
to you. It's fucked up, you know, and you can't
Yeah.
talk about it because you're in the middle of a fucking court hearing. And,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there was things where, I mean, I don't know if you had a lawyer or not, but I'm sure if you did, they were probably telling you not to say shit, really, you know.
Yeah, he was. I was like, I got to say something
Well,
to
anything
somebody.
you say, man, can get you in fucking trouble. They can twist anything against you.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you say the wrong fucking thing out of anger in the heat of the moment, you know, they're going to fucking be like, look, you know,
Yeah.
see this anger
Actually,
he's putting out there?
for my last thing that I want to like say on your show, I want to say if you ever get in any sort of trouble, get a lawyer. Don't talk to the cops. Don't talk to any investigator. Don't talk to anybody. Get a lawyer. If you watch any of these murder mystery shows or any of these other, like all these kids had to do was get a lawyer and they wouldn't have been falsely accused. I didn't say shit. When the cops started coming at me, I said, you know, you got a warrant, you want to arrest me, you take me, but other than that, I'm not saying nothing. I'm going to get a lawyer. Y'all can talk to my lawyer. That's the key.
That's good advice.
Yep. All right, man. Well, thank you very much, and I hope we get to get out your way sometime soon.
Yeah, man, it'll be good to see you. I'll talk to you later, man. So, Liz,
All right. All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.